starts the same way for everyone. Not with a loud crash, not with a sudden revelation, no alarm bells, no warnings, just a shift, so quiet, so gradual that you almost don't notice. At first, it's a forgotten name, a misplaced set of keys, a stiffness in the joints that wasn't there before. You shake it off. A long day, you tell yourself. Nothing to worry about. But then it happens again. And again. One morning, you step out of bed and your feet don't move the way they used to. Your balance isn't what it was. Your mind feels slower. You laugh it off, but deep down, something unsettles you, something you can't quite name. And then one day, it hits you. You are aging. Not all at once, not in a way that's immediately obvious, but in tiny, imperceptible ways that add up over time. The slow erosion of strength, the gradual dimming of clarity, the subtle fading of vitality. And before you realize it, what once seemed effortless now takes extra thought. What once felt natural now requires effort. A world that was once full of energy begins to feel smaller. And this is where the story usually ends. A gradual decline. A life that shrinks little by little. A slow surrender to time. But what if it didn't have to be this way? What if there were people right now defying everything we've been told about aging? What if there were men and women well into their 70s, 80s, even 90s, moving with the same purpose, clarity, and strength they had decades earlier? What if aging wasn't the problem at all? What if the problem was how we've been aging? For centuries, cultures across the world have passed down wisdom, secrets that have allowed entire generations to live not just longer, but fuller, richer lives. These people don't just survive into old age. They thrive. They remain strong, sharp, resilient. And when the rest of the world asks, "What's your secret?" they smile. Because the truth isn't a secret at all. It's hidden in plain sight. 8 golden habits. The difference between a body that falters and a body that flourishes. A mind that fades and a mind that sharpens with time. A spirit that weakens and a spirit that grows stronger with every passing year. But here's what no one tells you. Most people never adopt these habits. Most people, without realizing it, do the exact opposite. They trade energy for convenience, movement for comfort, curiosity for routine. And by the time they understand what's happened, it's already begun. But here's the good news. It's not too late, because the body remembers, the mind adapts. The spirit, no matter how neglected, can be reignited. And today, you will learn how. This is not just a list, this is a blueprint. A map to a future where aging is not a slow surrender, but a journey into greater wisdom, strength, and vitality. If you're ready, if you're willing to see aging differently, then let's begin. The 8 golden habits for healthy aging. Habit number 1, nourish your body with anti-aging foods. Imagine a woman sitting in the soft morning light of her kitchen. She's 90 years old, yet her hands are steady as she slices into a ripe, sun-warmed tomato. She moves with ease, her breath slow and measured, her gaze bright and full of knowing. She does not count calories. She does not fear food. She does not rush through meals or eat in front of a television. She has lived nearly a century, and in that time she has seen trends come and go. Diets, fads, the obsession with weight, the fear of aging. And yet here she is, strong, vibrant, defying expectations. What is her secret? It is not a supplement, not a special powder or an expensive treatment. It is something simpler, something older than medicine itself. The way she eats. She was born in Okinawa, Japan, where some of the longest living people on Earth reside. And in this small island community, there is an unspoken rule about food, a rule that has been passed down through generations. Hara Hachibu. It means eat until you are 80% full. They do not eat until they are stuffed. They do not consume mindlessly. They eat with purpose, with gratitude, with an understanding that food is not just fuel, it is information. It is medicine. It is the difference between thriving and merely surviving. And the science? It backs this up. Every single bite we take sends a message to our body. Aging is not just about time, it is about inflammation. And food can either accelerate that process or slow it down. Scientists have studied blue zones, places in the world where people live the longest, healthiest lives. And they all have one thing in common. They eat real food, not processed, not filled with additives, not designed for profit and convenience, but for nourishment and vitality. They eat food that reduces inflammation and supports cellular repair, 2 key factors in slowing down the aging process. And while people in different parts of the world eat differently, there are common threads woven through their diets. Let me expose the science-backed foods for longevity. 1. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens. These foods are packed with antioxidants, which fight oxidative stress, one of the biggest contributors to aging. 2. Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These tiny fruits are rich in polyphenols, compounds that protect your cells from damage and reduce inflammation. 3. Nuts and seeds. Almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. A small handful a day has been linked to a longer lifespan in multiple studies. They provide healthy fats, which protect the brain and joints. 4. Fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. Omega-3 fatty acids keep the brain sharp, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. 5. Olive oil, the cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. Rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, it has been shown to reduce the risk of heart disease and extend lifespan. Now let's go back to the woman who ate to live. Back in her kitchen, the 90-year-old woman finishes her meal. A bowl of miso soup, a handful of fresh greens, a few slices of sweet potato, one of the most nutrient-dense foods in the world. She eats slowly, she chews with intention, she listens to her body. And when she is done, she does not collapse into a chair, heavy and sluggish. She rises, effortlessly, and steps outside. In the garden, her great-grandchildren are playing. She joins them, laughing, moving. This is what longevity looks like. Not just more years, but more life in those years. You don't need to uproot your diet overnight. Small changes make the biggest impact. Here's how you can start. Instead of sugary cereals, start your day with oatmeal topped with berries and nuts. It stabilizes blood sugar and fuels the brain. Swap out vegetable oils for extra virgin olive oil. It reduces inflammation and protects the heart. Eat more fiber. Fiber is your best defense against digestive issues, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Drink water first thing in the morning. Many of the signs of aging are actually signs of dehydration. And finally, eat like the elders do. Slowly, mindfully, and stop before you are full. The choices you make today, they shape the body you will live in tomorrow. Now, what about movement? What about the one thing that separates those who thrive from those who simply endure? Let's talk about habit number 2, which is stay physically active. There is a man, somewhere in the hills of Sardinia, who has never set foot in a gym. He has never lifted weights, never run a marathon, never followed a strict exercise routine. And yet, at 92 years old, he still walks the steep, rocky paths of his village every morning, his posture straight, his breath steady. He still laughs with friends in the village square, still climbs the narrow steps of his home, still tends to his small vineyard with the hands of a man decades younger. He does not train, he does not work out, and yet he moves more than most people half his age. This is what we've forgotten. Movement is not a task. It is not something you schedule or force yourself to do. It is not a punishment for what you ate or a chore to check off a list. Movement is life itself, and in the places where people live the longest, where 80, 90, even 100 years of age is not an exception, but an expectation, they don't exercise, they move, naturally, effortlessly, as part of their daily existence. And the science? It tells us something shocking. Why movement matters more than exercise routines. Sedentary living is the silent killer of our time. We were not designed to sit for hours on end. We were not built for a life of stillness. Our bodies crave motion, not high-intensity, brutal workouts, but simple, continuous, natural movement. Sitting for long periods slows circulation, increases the risk of heart disease, and weakens muscles over time. Lack of movement reduces cognitive function, making the mind sluggish, memory foggy. When we stop moving, our bones become fragile, our balance deteriorates, and simple tasks become difficult. But here's the good news. You don't need hours in the gym. In fact, you don't need a gym at all. Because the people who live the longest, the healthiest, the most vibrant lives, they move naturally. Let me tell you how elders from Sardinia, Italy, live longer by moving naturally. In Sardinia, Italy, there is a small village where men routinely live past 100, not just existing, but thriving. Every morning, they rise with the sun and begin their day not with a workout, but with movement woven into their routine. They walk, up steep hills, down winding cobblestone paths, to the market, to a neighbor's home, to the fields where they have worked for decades. They bend, lift, stretch, not in a gym, but while gardening, carrying groceries, tending to their homes. They stand more than they sit. They move without thinking. And because of this, their hearts remain strong, their joints stay fluid, their balance stays sharp. They have never been taught to exercise. They simply never stopped moving. Easy ways to stay active daily. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to move more. And not in a way that feels forced. Not in a way that makes you dread it, but in a way that feels natural, effortless, woven into your daily rhythm. Here's how you start. Walk more. Walking is one of the most powerful forms of movement. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk while talking on the phone. Park farther away. Stretch every morning. Before you check your phone, before you turn on the TV, stand up, reach toward the sky, roll your shoulders, twist your spine, wake your body up. Use every opportunity to move. Stand up while watching TV. Do simple stretches while waiting for your coffee. Walk inside your home while listening to music. Make it enjoyable. Dance while cooking. Play with your grandchildren. Garden, clean, explore. Anything that keeps you moving. The goal is not to exercise more. The goal is to move more. If you are overwhelmed, if you don't know where to start, begin with just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of movement, every single day. Walk around your home, stretch in your living room, step outside and breathe deeply as you move. The trick, once you start moving for 10 minutes, you won't want to stop. This is how it begins. Small, simple, but powerful. And over time, something incredible happens. Your energy increases instead of depleting. Your body grows stronger. H's become less frequent. Your mind sharpens, focus returns. And most importantly, you begin to feel alive again. And that man in Sardinia? He is still walking, still moving, still living, not just longer, but better. You can do the same, but movement is only part of the equation. Because what good is a strong body if the mind begins to fade? Habit number 3 is perhaps the most important of all. Because it determines whether you stay sharp, alert, and full of life, or begin to fade long before your time. Let's talk about it. Prioritize restorative sleep, which is habit number 3. It begins in the quiet hours of the night. The world slows, the noise fades, and for a brief moment, everything is still. But for some, this is not a time of peace. It is a time of restlessness. A time of staring at the ceiling, shifting in bed, listening to the tick of a clock that moves far too slowly. The body is exhausted, the mind is weary, and yet, sleep remains just out of reach. And without sleep, everything begins to unravel. The brain fog grows thicker, the body becomes sluggish, emotions feel heavier, reactions slower, energy drained, and with every passing night of tossing and turning, aging accelerates. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. Sleep is the foundation of everything. It is where healing happens, where the brain repairs itself, where the body restores. And yet, most people treat sleep as an afterthought. But there are those, elders in the world's longest living regions, who see sleep for what it truly is. Not just rest, not just a break, but a sacred practice. And today, you're going to learn why and how one simple ritual transformed a man's life. Let me tell you the connection between sleep and aging gracefully. Scientists have spent decades studying what happens when we sleep. And the truth? Aging does not happen only in the waking hours. It happens in the hours we fail to sleep. Sleep is where the brain detoxifies itself, flushing out harmful waste that builds up during the day. Without it, the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia skyrockets. Sleep is where the body heals. Muscles repair, inflammation is reduced, and cells regenerate. Poor sleep weakens the immune system, accelerates heart disease, and steals years from your life. Sleep is where memories solidify. Every experience, every conversation, every moment of learning, it is all sorted and stored in deep sleep. Without it, the mind becomes forgetful, sluggish, and dull. But the truth is, not all sleep is equal. You may be in bed for 8 hours. But if your sleep is light, fragmented, filled with tossing and turning, you are still aging faster than you should be. And this brings us to the story of a 75-year-old man who learned this lesson far too late. The man fixed his insomnia with one simple nighttime ritual. He was 75 years old when he first realized something was wrong. His mind wasn't as sharp as it used to be. Words slipped from his memory. Simple tasks took longer than they should. Conversations felt distant, like he was watching from the outside. And worst of all, He could not sleep. No matter how tired he was, his mind refused to quiet down. The nights stretched endlessly, each hour passing in a haze of frustration, and by morning, he was exhausted, irritable, unmotivated. For years, he accepted it as just part of aging, until he met an old friend, a friend who was also 75. But unlike him, this friend was sharp, full of energy, vibrant. So he asked, "How do you do it? How do you stay so alive?" His friend smiled. "I sleep well." He laughed at first. "Sleep, that's the secret?" But then his friend leaned in, voice quiet, serious. "You don't just let sleep happen, you prepare for it." And then he shared one simple ritual that changed everything. That night, for the first time in years, he did something different. He turned off all screens 1 hour before bed. No TV, no phone, no artificial blue light that tricks the brain into thinking it's still daytime. He dimmed the lights. Soft, warm lighting signaled to his body that it was time to wind down. He drank a cup of chamomile tea, not out of habit but as a signal, a cue to his body that sleep was coming. He listened to calming music, slowed his breathing, and let go of the day's worries. And for the first time in years, he slept. Not just any sleep, deep, uninterrupted, restorative sleep. And from that night on, his memory sharpened, his focus returned, his energy increased. Because deep sleep is where the body resets itself. If you struggle with sleep, know this: it is not your fault, but you can change it, starting tonight. Here's how you create the perfect sleep routine. 1 hour before bed. Turn off all screens. The blue light from TVs and phones disrupts melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep. Dim your lights. Your body needs darkness to know it's time to rest. 30 minutes before bed, drink a warm, calming tea, chamomile, valerian root, or lemon balm. Do gentle stretching or deep breathing to relax the body. Read a book, not a news article, not social media. Something calming. Right before bed, keep your bedroom cool between 60 to 67, 15 to 19 degrees. The body sleeps best in cooler temperatures. Keep the room dark. Even a small light from a clock or device can interfere with melatonin. Listen to soft music or nature sounds to signal relaxation. And finally, the most important step: go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. The body thrives on routine. The more consistent you are, the easier sleep will come. And once you start sleeping deeply, everything changes. Your mind becomes sharper, your body heals faster, your emotions stabilize. You do not just feel younger, you are younger. But what good is a sharp mind, a rested body, a clear head, if you walk through life alone? Habit number 4 is the foundation of joy itself. And if you ignore it, aging will feel heavier than it should. Let's talk about it. Habit number 4. Keep your mind sharp. The greatest loss of aging is not the body, it's the mind. It happens so slowly, so quietly, that most people don't even notice it. At first, it's just a momentary lapse, a forgotten word, a misplaced object, a name that hovers at the edge of memory but never quite arrives. Just getting older, they say. But then it happens again and again. And slowly, without realizing it, the sharp edges of the world become softer, blurrier. And this is where most people stop fighting. They accept it. They assume it's part of life, that the mind, like the body, must inevitably weaken with time. But here's what they don't know. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. The brain does not have to fade. The mind does not have to weaken. The spark that makes you you does not have to flicker out before it's time. Because there are those, men and women over 80, 90, even 100, who still think, speak, and create with the clarity of someone half their age. They do not lose their words. They do not lose their sharpness. They do not lose themselves. And neither should you. Because the brain is not a machine that wears out. It is a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't use it, you lose it. Let me tell you the story of a 100-year-old chess master and his secret to mental agility. In a small village in Spain, there is a man who wakes up every morning, sharp as ever, at the age of 100. His hands may have grown slower, his steps a little more measured. But his mind? His mind is as quick as lightning. Every day, without fail, he walks to the same wooden table in the town's square. And there he plays chess. Not against just anyone, but against men and women decades younger than him. And he wins. Every single time. When asked his secret, he does not speak of vitamins. He does not mention genetics. He simply smiles, moves a piece across the board, and says, "I never stopped thinking." This is the key. The people who keep their minds sharp as they age do not sit back and let time take what it wants. They challenge their minds every single day. They read, they learn, they play, they ask questions, they solve problems. They never stop thinking. If you want to keep your mind sharp, your memory strong, and your thoughts clear, you must give your brain something to work with. And the best way to do that? Make thinking a habit. Read every day. It doesn't have to be complex. A book, an article, a poem, anything that engages your mind. Play games that challenge you. Chess, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, anything that makes your brain work. Learn something new, a new language, a new instrument, a new skill. The mind grows stronger when it is forced to adapt. Listen to music. Science has shown that music, especially classical and jazz, stimulates brain activity and strengthens memory. Engage in conversation. Discuss, debate, share ideas. The more you communicate, the stronger your mind stays. Write. Keep a journal. Tell your story. Put your thoughts into words. It forces the mind to organize and retain information. The difference between those who remain sharp and those who fade is not luck. It is choice. A choice to stay engaged, to stay curious, to stay hungry for knowledge. The brain has a rule, a simple rule. Use it or lose it. Every time you engage your brain, it grows stronger. But every time you neglect it, every time you choose mindless entertainment over learning, every time you avoid challenges, every time you stop thinking deeply, your brain shrinks. This is why some people remain mentally sharp at 100, while others begin to decline at 60. Not because of age, but because of how they use their minds. The choice is yours. You do not have to lose your sharpness. You do not have to accept forgetfulness, fog, or confusion. You can stay sharp, you can stay aware, you can stay alive. But there is one more piece to this puzzle. Because what good is a sharp mind, a strong body, and deep sleep if you are walking through life alone? Habit number 5 is the foundation of joy itself. And if you ignore it, aging will feel heavier than it should. Let's talk about it. Maintain strong social connections, which is habit number 5. There is a pain that cannot be measured in blood pressure or cholesterol levels. A silent illness that does not show up on test results. It is not a virus, not a disease, not something doctors often warn about, but it is killing people. Slowly, quietly, without them even realizing it. It is more dangerous than smoking, more harmful than obesity, more destructive than high blood pressure. It is loneliness, and it is the most overlooked threat to aging well. Because human beings are not meant to be alone. We are built for connection, for conversation, for laughter, shared meals, and the warmth of another person's presence. And yet far too many people, especially as they grow older, find themselves living in silence. They eat alone, walk alone, spend hours, days, even weeks without meaningful human interaction. And their bodies, they begin to shut down. The brain weakens. Without conversation, without social interaction, the mind slows, memory declines, thinking becomes dull. The heart struggles. Loneliness increases the risk of heart disease and high blood pressure. The immune system weakens. Studies show that isolated seniors are more likely to fall ill and recover more slowly. And most dangerously, loneliness leads to a shorter life. People who are lonely die faster. But the opposite? Those who remain socially connected, emotionally engaged, and surrounded by community, they live longer, they live happier, they live well. And the proof? It lies in the world's longest living people, in Okinawa, Japan. Among the rolling hills and lush landscapes you will find some of the longest living people on Earth. Women in their 90s, men over 100, still vibrant, still smiling, still full of life. But what is their secret? Is it their food? Yes. Is it their movement? Yes. But there's something else, something even more powerful. They are never alone. From the moment they are born until their final breath, they are surrounded by a moai, a lifelong circle of friends who support one another, eat together, laugh together, and grow old together. They do not retire into solitude. They do not fade into loneliness. They remain part of something greater than themselves. And because of this, they live longer. But in many parts of the world, aging often means isolation. Friends move away, loved ones pass. The days grow quieter. And for far too many people, life begins to feel empty. But here's what you need to know. Loneliness is not an inevitability. It is a choice. And just as the body can be strengthened, so can your social life. If you feel isolated, if your days feel too quiet, if you long for connection but don't know where to start, here are 5 things you can do. 1. Reconnect with old friends. Pick up the phone. Send a message. Reach out. Friendships do not fade unless we let them. 2. Join a group or class. A book club, a fitness class, a community gathering. Anywhere people come together is a place you belong. 3. Find a purpose bigger than yourself. Volunteer, mentor, teach, share your wisdom. When you give to others, you gain a deeper sense of connection. 4. Get outside, walk in the park, sit at a cafe, visit the market. The more you engage with the world, the more the world engages with you. 5. Make conversation a habit. Greet people, ask questions. Connection begins with a single word. And most importantly, do not wait for others to come to you. Be the one who reaches out. Be the one who invites. Be the one who refuses to live in silence. Because life is not meant to be lived alone. And when you surround yourself with love, laughter, and human connection, you do not just live longer, you live better. But human connection is not the only thing that shapes longevity. What happens inside your mind matters just as much. Because stress, worry, and anxiety, they age you faster than time itself. And that's why habit 6 may be the most powerful one of all, which is practice mindfulness and stress management. Now let's talk about it. There is something inside you right now, shortening your life. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but it is there. It raises your blood pressure, weakens your heart, fogs your mind. It tightens your chest, steals your breath, and fills your body with exhaustion. It is stress, and it is killing you faster than age itself. Science confirms it. Chronic stress accelerates aging. It weakens the immune system, making you vulnerable to illness. It increases inflammation, one of the root causes of age-related diseases. It damages the brain, leading to memory loss, anxiety, and depression. It disrupts sleep, ruins digestion, and speeds up cellular aging. But here's what most people don't realize. Stress is not an event. It is not the traffic, the bills, the disagreements, or the bad news. Stress is how you react. And while you may not be able to control the world around you, you can control your response. Let me tell you a short story about a Buddhist monk in his 90s who shared his timeless secret to inner peace. In the mountains of Nepal, there is a temple where time moves slower. The air is cool, filled with the scent of incense. The walls ancient, the energy peaceful. And inside, there is a man. He is 92 years old. He has no wrinkles of worry, no heaviness in his heart. He moves gracefully, speaks softly, breathes deeply. To him, stress does not exist. And yet, he has seen war. He has lost loved ones. He has lived through uncertainty, hardship, and change. So how does he remain untouched by stress? When asked, he simply smiles, because I do not hold on to what I cannot change. He explains that most people suffer not because of their circumstances, but because of their attachment to them. They cling to what was. They fear what could be. But the present moment, it is always free. And that is where peace lives. Stress does not just make you feel bad, it has a deadly impact to the body. It physically changes the body. Cortisol, the stress hormone, destroys brain cells. Over time, this increases the risk of dementia and memory loss. Chronic stress shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA. Shorter telomeres mean faster aging, increased disease, and a shorter lifespan. Stress weakens the heart, leading to high blood pressure, heart attacks, and strokes. It steals joy. It keeps the mind racing, the body tense, the spirit heavy. But here's what science now proves. Stress is not permanent. You can rewire your brain. You can train your body to let go. And you don't need years of meditation or isolation in a temple. You just need a few simple daily habits. Here are the simple daily mindfulness techniques to reduce stress and boost well-being. If you want to slow down aging, protect your mind, and find peace, start here. Firstly, the 5-second reset for instant calm. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply for 5 seconds. Hold for 5 seconds. Exhale slowly for 5 seconds. Repeat twice. This resets the nervous system, calming your heart, clearing your mind. Secondly, morning stillness practice for a peaceful day. Before checking your phone or turning on the TV, sit in silence for 3 to 5 minutes. Focus on your breath. Let your thoughts come and go without attachment. This anchors your day in calmness instead of chaos. Thirdly, the Let It Go ritual for emotional freedom. Every night, write down one thing that upset you that day. Then, next to it, write, I release this. It no longer controls me. Tear the paper, throw it away. This trains your mind to let go instead of carrying stress into tomorrow. And fourthly, the gratitude shift for instant mood boosting. When stress rises, ask, what is still good in my life? Say it out loud. Shifting focus from stress to gratitude rewires the brain for positivity. And finally, the 1-minute mindfulness rule for staying present. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, stop. Look around. Name 5 things you see. Feel your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. This pulls you back into the present, where stress cannot survive. These are not just habits, they are lifelines. Because peace is not found in escaping the world. It is found in how you move through it. And once your mind is at peace, your purpose becomes clear. Because what is life without meaning? Habit 7 will show you why purpose is the key to not just living longer, but truly living. Now let's talk about it. The 7th habit, which is, embrace a purpose-driven life. A long life means nothing if it is empty. You can have a strong body, a sharp mind, deep sleep, and a community around you. But if you wake up each day with no purpose, no reason to step forward, no sense of why, then what is life really? This is the truth that too many people discover too late. Retirement is not the problem. A lack of purpose is. For decades, people work, raise families, fulfill obligations. Their days are structured, their roles clear. But then, the job ends, the children grow up, the world slows down, and suddenly there's nothing left to wake up for. And without purpose, the body begins to weaken. The mind begins to wander. The days begin to blur together. Science confirms it. Having a sense of purpose is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. People with purpose live longer, healthier, and happier lives. Purpose reduces stress and depression. It gives the mind a focus, the heart a reason to keep going. It strengthens the immune system. Those who wake up with a sense of mission are more resilient to illness and recover faster. It protects against cognitive decline. A mind with a goal stays sharp. A mind without one fades. And yet, far too many people spend their later years feeling lost. But there are those men and women well into their 90s, even 100s, who wake up each day with excitement, drive, a sense of contribution, because they have never stopped living. And there is one man, one centenarian, who proves this better than anyone. His name is Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara. He lived to be 105 years old. And in those years, he did not just exist. He taught, he healed, he inspired. He was a physician in Japan, working until his final days. At 100 years old, he was still giving lectures, still writing books, still teaching the next generation. When asked why he never retired, he smiled and said, "Because I still have work to do." He lived with purpose. And because of that, he never felt old. At 90, he still took the stairs instead of the elevator. At 95, he still traveled to speak about health and longevity. At 100, he still woke up excited for the day ahead. He did not slow down, because he never stopped being useful. And that is the secret. The people who live the longest are the people who never stop contributing. They find meaning in something greater than themselves. And so can you. If you feel lost, if your days feel empty, if you wonder what now, you are not done yet. You still have purpose. You still have something to offer. Here's how you find it. 1. Teach what you know. Mentoring and guiding the next generation. Pass down your skills, your wisdom, your experiences. Help younger people learn what life has taught you. Volunteer to mentor, tutor, or simply share your story. Someone out there needs your knowledge. 2. Create something. Hobbies that bring meaning. Paint, write, play music, build something. Start a project you always wanted to, but never had time for. Creativity keeps the mind alive, the spirit engaged. 3. Give back to your community. Acts of service and volunteering. Join a cause, help in shelters, assist in community projects. When you give to others, you receive a deep sense of fulfillment in return. 4. Deepen your spiritual life. Finding meaning beyond the physical. Whether through religion, meditation, or personal reflection, connect with something greater than yourself. This brings peace, clarity, and a sense of deeper purpose. 5. Set a goal for the future. A reason to wake up every day. It does not matter how small. Plan a trip, write a book, plant a garden. Having something to look forward to keeps you young. The greatest tragedy of aging is not the body slowing down. It is letting the fire inside you go out. But that does not have to happen. Because purpose, it is a choice. You can wake up each morning with a reason to move forward. You can still create, still inspire, still leave an impact. And when you do, life does not just continue, it flourishes. But what happens when you remove the things that drain your energy? Because some habits make you stronger and some steal your life away. Habit 8 will show you what to avoid, so you can age with strength, clarity, and purpose. Now let's talk about it. Avoid toxic habits that speed up aging. This is the final habit on the list. Aging is not just about what you do, it is also about what you must stop doing. Because the body is resilient, the mind is adaptable, the spirit is strong, but even the strongest foundations can be eroded over time. Not by time itself, but by the things we allow to weaken us. Small, daily choices that seem harmless, but are slowly taking away years of life. And if you do not remove them, no amount of exercise, nutrition, or positive thinking will save you. These are the 5 biggest mistakes that steal vitality, speed up aging, and rob you of the strength and clarity you deserve. And most people don't even realize they're doing them. Let's talk about 5 biggest mistakes that steal your vitality. Firstly, processed foods, the silent killer. It is convenient, it is everywhere, and it is slowly poisoning your body. Processed foods are filled with preservatives, chemicals, and empty calories. They inflame the body, spike blood sugar, weaken the heart, and accelerate cognitive decline. Sugary drinks, they destroy metabolism. Artificial ingredients, they wreak havoc on digestion and hormones. Packaged meals, they rob you of real nutrition. Every bite you take is either healing your body or harming it. Here's the fix. Eat whole foods. If it came from nature, eat it. If it came from a factory, leave it. Cook at home. Know what's in your food. Keep it simple. Keep it real. Secondly, sedentary living, the fastest way to decay. The body was not made to sit all day. And yet most people spend more time sitting than sleeping. Too much sitting weakens muscles, stiffens joints, and slows circulation. It increases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and early death. It weakens balance and coordination, making falls and injuries more likely. Your body does not wear out from movement. It wears out from a lack of it. And the fix: stand up and move every hour. Even small movements keep the body alive. Walk every day, not as exercise, as a way of life. Stretch before bed, keep the body flexible, strong, and capable. And third on the list, negative thinking, the mind's greatest enemy. Your thoughts create your reality. And the greatest cause of premature aging is not always physical. It is mental. Stress floods the body with cortisol, damaging cells and organs. Regret weighs the heart down, making every day feel heavier. Fear holds you back from growth, from learning, from living. A person who believes they are old becomes old. A person who believes they are still strong, still capable, still alive, they stay that way. And here's the fix. Choose better thoughts. Every morning say, I am still strong, I am still capable, I am still growing. Let go of past regrets. The past is done, the future is waiting. Surround yourself with uplifting people. Negativity is contagious. So is positivity. Choose wisely. Fourthly, dehydration, the most overlooked aging factor. It sounds simple, but most people walk through life chronically dehydrated. Dehydration weakens the brain, leading to fog, forgetfulness, and fatigue. It slows digestion, causing bloating and discomfort. It weakens the skin, making wrinkles appear faster. It damages the kidneys, the heart, and the body's ability to heal itself. A lack of water makes every other habit useless, and yet most people do not drink enough. The fix: drink a full glass of water upon waking. Before coffee, before food. Hydrate first. Carry a bottle of water with you. If it's near you, you'll drink it. Eat water-rich foods. Cucumbers, oranges, watermelon, all hydrate the body. Finally, the fifth: neglecting social bonds, the loneliness epidemic. You can eat well, you can exercise, you can meditate and rest. But if you are alone, aging will come for you faster than you expect. Loneliness weakens the immune system. It increases stress, leading to higher blood pressure and heart problems. It accelerates cognitive decline, leading to faster memory loss. It takes the joy out of life. Aging does not have to be lonely, but it will be if you do not prioritize connection. And the fix: call someone today. Don't wait. Connection is built in moments. Join a group, a class, a community. Be around people. Energy is contagious. Never stop reaching out. If you feel lonely, someone else does too. Be the one who makes the first move. Let me tell you how to reverse bad habits at any age for a healthier future, because it is never too late. No matter how many years have passed, no matter how many bad habits have taken root, you can reverse them. Start small. Replace one bad habit at a time. Choose progress over perfection. Remember, every single choice either adds to your life or takes from it. And if you start today, if you choose even one small step, your future will look different. Your future will look stronger. And this is how you age with strength, with clarity, with wisdom. Not by fearing time, but by mastering it. You now know the 8 golden habits for healthy aging. The habits that have allowed people around the world to live not just longer, but fuller, richer, stronger lives. The only question left is, which habit will you start today? You now know the 8 golden habits, the habits that can shape your future, the habits that can change your life. Each one is simple, each one is powerful, and each one has been proven by science, by wisdom, by the lives of those who have aged not just longer, but better. So let's remember them. Nourish your body with anti-aging foods. Food is medicine. Every bite is a choice between healing or harm. Stay physically active. Movement is life. When you stop moving, you start aging. Prioritize restorative sleep. The body heals at night if you let it. Keep your mind sharp. A strong brain is built through challenge, curiosity, and lifelong learning. Maintain strong social connections. Loneliness is more dangerous than smoking. Stay connected. Stay engaged. Practice mindfulness and stress management. Stress ages you faster than time. Let go. Breathe. Stay present. Embrace a purpose-driven life. Wake up with a reason to move forward. Purpose is the fuel that keeps you alive. Avoid toxic habits that speed up aging. Remove the things that drain you. Strengthen the habits that sustain you. Aging is not the enemy. Aging is a privilege, a chance to become wiser, a chance to grow stronger, a chance to live in a body, a mind, and a spirit that you have taken care of. And it's never too late to begin. You cannot go back and change the past, but you can start today, because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Now I want to hear from you. Which habit do you already practice? Which one will you start today? Tell me in the comments below, because this is not just about learning, it's about taking action. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more wisdom on longevity, health, and living a life full of strength and purpose. And make sure to turn on notifications, because in our next video, we'll reveal the shocking truth about foods that secretly speed up aging. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for being here. Stay strong, stay sharp, stay timeless, and I'll see you in the next video.